Hi, everybody. Good morning. We're going to take a look today on how to read a stock, but our school computers have been a little bit tricky. So I'm not sure if it is your school computer or if it actually is the school network. So there is always a chance, because most of you are going to be doing this assignment on your home Wi-Fi, that you're not going to have this challenge, but I'm going to have to go ahead and show you how to do it if you happen to be doing this during the school day. So what's going to happen is that we typically use Yahoo Finance for a lot of our finance related stuff, and Yahoo Finance is blocked in the schools. So then we found Google Finance, and on the student computers, for some reason, Google Finance is being incredibly fussy, and we kind of have to backdoor it. So in your assignment on how to read a stock, I have the written out directions for you, but I just wanted to give you a quick visual on what we're talking about so you can understand kind of how this whole thing's going to go down. So we want to use Google Finance, but if we just on your student computer do Google Finance, it is going to say that you can't get there. So we have to backdoor it just a little bit. So we're actually going to start out and we're going to search for Nike stock price. You can really search for any company, but I'm going to do Nike stock price. And since I'm in Google, it's going to come up. Let me just slide this over for you. It's going to come up, and right away, just like Google would, it's going to come up with basically Google's information, which is straight from Google Finance. So when I come down, this information is pretty good, but what I'm actually doing is I'm using this as a little bit of a way to get a backdoor into Google Finance. So I'm going to come down, and right below my graph for Nike, I'm going to select this right here, More About Nike. So when I select that More About Nike, what that's going to do for me is that is now going to put me into a position where I literally am now in the real Google Finance. So kind of a silly thing, but one of our students sort of found it. So when you get in here, you can stick with Nike if you want, or you're more than welcome to look for any other publicly traded company that you might want to take a look at. So of course, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. Facebook is actually publicly traded, but it's traded as Meta because that's their what they call the parent company for Facebook and all of those products. Lululemon, so several different things. I'm actually going to do today, I think I'm going to do Gap. So I'm kind of interested, oops, that actually didn't come up the right way. Maybe I'll do Lululemon. Okay, so I'm going to do Lululemon, and what I notice is, first of all, I want to make sure that I've got the right company. Lululemon Athletica is definitely what I'm going to be looking for. So the questions that we have for you on how to read a stock, every single thing that you need to know is going to be right here in front of you. So when we scroll down just a little bit, we've got our exchange rate right here, and I come down a little further. A little bit later, I'm going to ask you to actually switch over to the 1 year graph. So you'll be able to see what's going on for the company that you selected for that. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Actually, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to scroll over. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. I have the view on so big. On the right-hand side, I'm also going to be able to find almost all of my questions that are going to be answered for me. So previous close, year range, market cap, et cetera, et cetera. And then I've got a last section that talks about in the about section. So this is what I mean, about. And if I come down here, I'm going to be able to find out that information that we're looking for right down here. One of the very last things that we're asking you about is we're asking you, why did you choose this company? That's obviously just opinion. But one of the other things is we're telling you to find something in the news. Now, Lululemon had something really wild in the news this week. And for those of you that are fans, you might have seen that they actually came out with sneakers. So they literally just dropped those this week, I think probably about 48 hours ago. So it's going to be interesting to see if their sneaker launch is successful for them. And then also, if I roll back up here, it's going to be interesting to see if that sneaker launch did anything for them. So it kind of looks like it did. I'm a little surprised by that because I wasn't liking the sneakers myself. But anyways, so that is a quick little rundown of how you're going to use that. I'm sure that several of you have never, ever, ever looked at that stuff before. If you run into any problems, please make sure you let me know. I'm happy to help. Take care.